What's up, everyone? I'm here again, and today I'm going to talk about my horrific, terrible year of 2019, of what really happened, because that year was the worst years of my life and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of stuff happened that year that I didn't like and stuff like that, and uh, what and what happened, and now and let's get down to it. It all started on January 2019. On January 1st, 2019. What happened was I started here in the morning of 2019, New Year's Day. I was expecting, I was, I was expecting a great year, like the 20-year anniversary of when I was born, and other, other future, other. I was expecting good, good at my job, good, good stuff happening in my job, and other good stuff happened. I had a great opportunity for that year. Then it went downhill. What happened was I started hearing voices all of a sudden, talking, just doing this, just talking over and over again. And I had no idea how to get it out of my head. Then February, a month later, the voices couldn't stop talking in my head. I wanted to get out of my head, but I didn't know how because I never experienced anything like that in my life. Throughout all my life, I never experienced anything like that. Even in high school years, I never had something like that. Then what happened was it got worse. It got worse at the. It got worse in some way. Then March happens. March happens. Actually, I forgot to mention. On the first day of January, I started move into a new room where to put my to hang out at in my house because I didn't want to be in my bedroom anymore, and I just wanted to get out of the room and hang out somewhere else. So I hang out in another room, and stuff like that, and with a chair in it. And I hang out in the chair. I put the laptop on the chair and hang out in the room. And from there, I started hearing the voices and stuff. That's when I started hearing the voices. Then, anyways, back where I'm at. March comes. Stuff was getting worse day by day. I started to see this dark figure in the room. I didn't know where it was, but it was just doing some strange hand movements towards me. And I was trying to ignore it, but it was impossible. And I felt like I was being tormented in the room. So I I just went on when I do it, doing. I hope it just goes away, some sort. But it never did. It stayed there. Then after that, I come. Then after that, I I just go and hang out in the room. Then I see the dark figure again in the room and stuff like that. And it just stays there in the corner. It stayed there in the corner, and I have no idea how to get rid of it. I was just thinking it would just go away, but it never went away. It never went nowhere. And then April comes. When April comes, the voices got much worse. It started to talk about anime. It said, "Don't watch anime no more. Don't watch anime." It just repeats itself over and over and over again. And I just get agitated. And it just wore me down and stuff like that. And what happened was I just wanted the voices to stop at this point. Actually, actually, I long wanted the voices to stop, but they kept continuing every day, and I have no explanation why they wouldn't stop. Then, then after that, then after that, the voices continue to get worse every each day as passes on. Then May came. I couldn't handle it. It really got bad to the point I just couldn't deal with it no more. I wanted to, to really stop. And at this point, I wanted the year to end and be 2020. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. It. Then the summer came. I was going to the Snooks and Ferguson again for the third time, and and I pretty much don't remember nothing from it because how bad it was. And all I know is I went there. I was hearing voices still, and I was pretending everything was in a good time, but it wasn't. And I was really waiting on the warehouse job because I was excited for that at the time, which which will turn out to be a disaster. I'll talk about that later. Anyways, when summer ended, actually I wasn't watching. Actually, by July I wasn't watching no more anime because in May I abandoned it because the voices kept repeating, "Don't watch anime. You must. You don't watch anime." It kept repeating over and over and over again. Then at the time in the summer, I wasn't sleeping too good. My mental health wasn't good, and what happened was I wasn't sleeping too good. It takes me all the way to 1:30 to go to sleep because I had a hard time sleeping. I couldn't go to the bed. It was a hard time to go to bed, and each night I didn't know, and I couldn't explain it, and I was flipping out. I don't know. I was flipping out by keeping my. I was trying to control myself. I had never had this before. I don't know why it kept happening to me and stuff. I didn't know, but I finally went to bed. Then, then after that, September comes. I go to the warehouse. I'm excited on the first day, but when I got there, it all changed. Everything changed. Everything got far extremely worse from there. When I got to this warehouse, I felt something very off. Felt like the atmosphere was off. Something was off with this warehouse. I felt like I don't want to be there. It felt like I didn't belong there. I didn't want to be there. And then after that, I went in. I met this I met this lady, and then there was something very off about this lady, and she was very arrogant. and I didn't like her. Um, and then what happened was on the first day at my new job, it went terrible. All I wanted is just to leave. That's all I want. And I was find out I was going to stay there until May, but I didn't want to stay there until May. It was too long. I did not want to stay there till May because the first day was a living hell. And uh, then 2 months went past. The coworkers there were not treating me too good. They were doing dumb stuff time and time again. They said I did something to them, but I didn't do nothing to them. And there was often times I don't remember stuff what happened because that's how bad my experience was over there. And then I started hearing this noise, and I couldn't, and I wanted to stop, but it kept continuing over and over and over again. And then, and then, and and they said I'd be doing stuff to them, but I never did anything to them. So they lie and say I did something to them. And next, every and next, uh, I see these dark figures, black shadows everywhere. Every time I go somewhere, especially this huge part of the warehouse, I went there to sweep or do something. I don't remember, and I saw this black figure that walked across, and I just wanted it to stop. I just wanted it to end. I just wanted to get out of the job because I felt like I didn't want to be there or belong there. I just want to go to a new job somewhere safer. Then after that, and at this point, I couldn't take my boss anymore. I just couldn't take her no more because I go up to this lady every day. I felt like I don't want to be nowhere near this lady, but they sent me up to this lady anyway to get some directions because they were treating me like I was dumb or something, which pissed me off. And I was not in good condition to do to to go up to her. I went to her and this was every day. This was every day, and I didn't want to go near this lady because her atmosphere was off, and I didn't like this lady when she comes by. Everyone else didn't mind it, but everyone else didn't mind it, but I cared. And then what happened was, then what happened? I woke up one day to this sound, this irritating sound, and I wanted that sound to stop, but it didn't stop. It continued. Then I went to to the warehouse with it, and it still continued. I didn't know why it was continuing. I didn't know why. Why I was hearing the sound for? I didn't want to hear the sound. I want to hear the sound. But the in my head was getting worse. They were wearing me down. And I was sitting one day there, and I felt I was going to die or something because I was so worn down and mentally unstable. I was going to fall out. I felt I was going to fall out and just collapse. And I was, and at that point, I was missing my early years before 2019, like 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, because I never had something like this in my life back in those years. I really miss those years so much because they were peaceful. I did a lot of stuff. I went to the airport. I went to Six Flags. I went to high school. Even in the high school years, I never had some shit like that. And then December came. Everyone was treating me badly, and the voices were still bad. They were far worse at this point. And I just wanted, and they said, "You're gonna have another. You're gonna have another lady like your boss," and that pissed me off. And I was not in a good condition for it. I was worn down. I was very mentally unstable and wore down when I heard it. I felt like I was going to pass out because I didn't want to have an arrogant boss, and I would never will. And then 2 months, 2 months passed. 2 months passed. Stuff was not going well still. At this point, it's 2020 to start off the decade, and it was one. That was one shitty and fucked up way to start off the decade. We just keep hearing voices, keep getting messed with every day. And in the room, I there was a lot of stuff happening in the room. I keep seeing dark shadow figures in the room, and I keep seeing these strange hand movements towards me in the room, like every single day. And there were times that they said, "Don't watch anime," and I'm not even watching it, and they kept saying it over and over and over again. And I was getting, and I was felt like I was going to collapse in a very bad condition, and I was in a very bad condition and stuff like that. And then after that, 2 months came, and it's almost the end of the warehouse. And I was really, really excited because I didn't want to see those people ever again in my life. I don't want to meet people like that ever again, and I don't want to see people like that, especially my boss. I didn't want to see another person ever like that who acts so extremely arrogant and extremely you can't even describe what she would do, and probably extremely reckless. I'll just say that. And then it went on to March. I was still in the room, but I didn't see no. But at this point, I didn't see no dark shadow figures in the room, so that was a relief. I didn't see no dark shadow figures like I did few months ago, and I felt my energy was drained all the time, every day. Like it felt like my energy was drained just trying to trying to get them out the room, but they stay there doing these strange hand movements. In March, I went to another center somewhere to stay there for a month for at least till May because I got out the warehouse early because of COVID. COVID came around, which I'll just say this: when COVID-19 came around, literally saved my life because I couldn't be there till May. Because by May, I I couldn't even enter the warehouse. I couldn't be able to enter the warehouse because how bad my condition was at in that point. So COVID-19 kind of saved my life when it happened. I don't think I don't know how to say it. Then what happened next? Next is stuff went well at the center. Actually, I just didn't know what to think of it. Then after that, they told us to go back. Actually, I had to sneeze. I had to get something out of my nose. Like I don't know. Then after that, I didn't know what to think of the place. Then one day, they said you're gonna go home for one day, then come back the next day. Well, that never happened, and that was a relief as well. That was a relief. And and then after that, the voices stopped in my head. There were no more voices after that. There was none. I wouldn't hear anything anymore. And that was a big sigh of relief because I didn't want to go through something like that ever in my life again. I didn't want to see that warehouse ever again. And to this day, and to this very day, I'm glad I don't know where the warehouse is. I don't want to know where that warehouse is at all in St. Louis because I forgot the name of it. I forgot I forgot the group that I was in because I didn't like the group that I was in. And there was a lot of stuff that I want to forget about, but it's working because it's 2021 and I'm having a good life now, unlike 2 years ago. Last year, I was still struggling. I was still struggling from it, but it's something else. I'll just say, let me take that back. It's just something else. But I was still in the room. It took me a long time to get out of that room until August 2020 because on that day I saw someone in the room, which it will be another story to tell on another day if that ever happens. And to this day, I don't have a job still. The last job was at the warehouse, and I don't want to see, and I don't want to go to that warehouse ever again in my life. So I'm trying to get a job at somewhere I know, which will be the Ferguson Snooks. And 4 years from now, I want to go back to the airport to stay there for 3 years. And that's the story. I'll see you. I'll see you in the next video, which will be in a week or 3 days. I don't know. I'll I'll decide. If I don't upload it done in 3 days, then it's a week. And and all I have to say now is subscribe to my channel where I upload story videos, different types of story videos from my anime life story videos and but and others story videos that happened to me in the past life and all of that stuff. So and I upload every 3, 4 days and a week. So see you.